I'll probably go to the podium, so
You hit one and it got up later.
hang out here.
Later, and then started flying and couldn't get all the way down. Started, I was like, it's
Coming at you.
gonna hit my garage.
Did you go back down?
Are we done?
Where all this time?
We're ready.
Good evening. Welcome to the Milford Township Municipal Building and the Monthly Planning Commission meeting. You can't hear me.
Hold that microphone a little closer.
Hello, hello.
Here we go.
I say welcome to the Milford Township Municipal Building and the Monthly Planning Commission meeting. At this time, I call a meeting of February 6, 2024 to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you haven't done so already, please sign the sheet in the back there on the table for the record for the attendance. Next, I'd like to introduce to you the Planning Commission and our support staff. Starting on my far left is Ray Reed. Next to him, Scott Stewart, Dave Fagate, Pete Cabello, Doug Prozan, Tony Sitter, and on the end down there is Denise Pizarro, the recording secretary. And on the back here is Julie Maggio, the assistant zoning and development officer. And over here, the young lady is Jennifer Herniason, the Township Council. Next to her is Matt Wallinger, the Director of Planning and Development. And I am Gene Strohmeyer, the Chairman of the Planning Commission. Before we begin, I'll call for a motion to accept the minutes of last month's meeting as written.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Milford Township Planning Commission is a recommending body that hears testimony, asks and answers questions, deliberates and passes our recommendations on to the Milford Township supervisors who make the final decisions on issues brought before us. The road dedication plan discussed tonight, if acted on by the Planning Commission, will be considered by the Township supervisors at their regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. in the Township, in this room here, the Township
Mr. Chairman?
room.
February.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
January.
It should be February 27th. Your script may be
I
wrong.
read right out there, didn't I? I read it wrong. Somebody else made that mistake, but, well, before me. How about February 23rd? Sorry about that.
It's like Joe Biden.
All righty.
Don't go that far.
The first item on the agenda tonight is a widening of Old Glenwood Park Avenue. Milford Township is seeking to widening the public right-of-way of Old Glenwood Park Avenue by adding a 50 by 112.25 foot irregular parcel, that's 0.124 acres, to the existing right-of-way on the south side of Old Glenwood Park Avenue, west of the intersection of Evans Road, Perry Highway, Old Glenwood Park Avenue, and Young Road in track 342. Mr. Waldinger.
Good evening. Thank you. Matt Waldinger, 3608 West 26th Street. I'm the Director of Planning and Development for the Township. In October of 2021, the Township received a study report performed in cooperation with PennDOT, the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and the Township itself, exploring traffic circulation and safety around the Route 97 and Route 505 intersection. After data analysis, stakeholder outreach, and public input, the study ultimately recommended Alternative 3, which is shown on the board behind me here, as the preferred alternative to present to PennDOT. The next steps towards effecting this plan would be to ask PennDOT to program a full engineering study and design and then work to get the project on Erie MPO's Transportation Improvement Program. As the township knew that this process would take several years, they asked that the study also recommend incremental improvements that the township could undertake itself in order to improve safety. One of the recommended improvements was implemented in 2022. It's the removal of trees and brush from the triangle of land near Old Glenwood Park Avenue in 505, which improved the site distance at Route 505, Young, Evans, and Old Glenwood Park Avenue. Another recommendation was for the township to convert an approximately 700-foot portion of Old Glenwood Park Avenue to one-way in the westbound direction. This would eliminate a dangerous situation where traffic from Old Glenwood Park Avenue pulls up almost parallel at the intersection to eastbound Young Road traffic. The Old Glenwood Park Avenue approach sits lower and farther back, making it hard for those drivers to see traffic on 505, which leads them to make sudden and often unpredictable movements in order to first get a good sight line out on 505, and then when entering or crossing the road itself. The majority of the traffic during the study period, in both the AM and PM study periods, traveled westbound, with an average of 185 vehicles heading west during the peaks and only 40 vehicles heading eastbound into the intersection. In order to effect this change, the township needed to provide a turnaround so that residents east of Home Road on Old Glenwood Park Avenue could maintain current access and still receive mail, deliveries, garbage service, snow plowing, and school busing. In order to do this, it's required that a small half circle on the south side of Old Glenwood Park Avenue, outside of the current right-of-way, be paved. In November of 2023, the township purchased a 50-foot by 113 piece of property totaling 0.124 acres to provide the space for this turnaround. Before you today is the township's dedication plan formally designating this small parcel as part of the Old Glenwood Park Avenue right-of-way. I'm happy to try and answer any questions that the commission may have.
Anybody? No. Okay. Do you want to go over the next one before we move on? Or?
They're effectively the same item.
they are.
If you'd just like to
they are.
vote on the two recommendations at the time, but, you know,
Okay.
if you'd like to see if there's any public.
Matt, did they already clear the area near Young Road, or are they going to clear it?
So down at the intersection, they already did the clearing. As a matter of fact, over the last couple of years, it started to grow back, so I think we'll have to probably get back in there again this spring and cut some of it down. But yeah, they had already done that previously 2 years ago.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else care to speak of this, on this?
Or have any
Please.
questions?
Please come up. Huh? You have a question?
No, if
Oh.
any of them have any
Please
questions.
come up here and give us your name and address and...
Ken Kramer, 5726 Glenwood Park Avenue, 3 houses from the intersection of Young Road, Evans, 505. One concern I have now is the fact that we have the paved road now, and they have a clear shot coming north on 505 on Old Glenwood Park Avenue. Speed limit's 35. I never see 35. They're coming in there 45, 50 miles an hour. You give them a clear shot now, because there's going to be no traffic coming off of Old Glenwood Park Avenue. I think we should look at reducing the speed limit from the intersection to Home Road to 25, because even with that turnaround there, now you have another possibility of cars coming out of that turnaround, and those cars coming off 505 at a high rate of speed. We're going to have some issues.
The turnaround that they have in Fairview at Mill Fair dramatically slows all the traffic down. And I've never been in a turnaround before until they popped that one in. But as soon as you get in there, the people coming in and out of there are always very slow.
Yeah, but
Hopefully
that's a
that'll work that
three-way.
way.
That's a three-way, but now you're only talking a two-way. When they come off of 505 and there's no obstructions,
Yeah.
that's 45 miles an hour. They don't slow down when they hit Glenwood Park Avenue.
Not a full turnaround. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah, okay.
Thank you. Matt, do you know the distance from the corner, the intersection, to where this turnaround is going to be?
The exact distance, no, we are just saying 700 feet, it's like 730-ish, more or less. And I do take the gentleman's point. I will note that we are planning on reducing some of that pavement area, so it'll be narrower through there, which will hopefully help. But I will talk to the engineer about changing the speed limit, because, as you mentioned, people coming through that'll be an unusual movement. And
Rumble
it'd probably be
strips.
better to have people slower through there.
Rumble strips.
I can suggest that.
Sir?
My name is Ed Yeast. I live on Home Road. And my question is, what are you going to do with all that traffic that comes down there? They're going to go up Home Road. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in that area, seeing that road on Home Road. This last snowstorm, we had 6 cars backing down because they couldn't get over that hill there because it was so slippery. So I'd like to know what's going to be done about that.
I can answer if you want.
Yes.
We are, I just wanted to do it so everybody could hear. We are going to place signage starting out at Cherry, and then also at Glenridge, informing people that it's closed and that they should use Cherry Street to either go to Young or to.
All right, now, if there is a problem, what can you do about it afterwards? And people ignore that and say, oh, wow, and we got a big mess up there.
No, I understand. I mean, obviously, I think if people know the area, they know to try and avoid home as much as possible.
That's a heck of a, you can't see it anyways, there's a blind spot coming up over
That's a
that
good point.
Young
So we're not
Road.
going to be able to eliminate everybody, but we're going to do our best with signage and try and keep them, on Cherry.
And if there's a problem, maybe could you consider maybe stop signs?
That would be, yeah, absolutely.
All right, you'll hear from me if there is.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Come on up.
Okay, anyone else? Sir?
My name is Bob Varick. I live on the corner of Home Road and Glenwood Park Avenue. Talked to Matt several times since this project started. My concern is also, well, my concerns are the same as both the gentlemen spoke previously. As you can see, when you come down north on 97, or it's 505, I guess at that point in time, it's like a 15-degree Y to go on Old Glenwood Park Avenue. People cut across both lanes of Young Road and take the entire intersection. Some people, I swear they don't even touch their brakes. They just lean on the door and they're going down Old Glenwood Park Avenue. And people do come through there at excessive speeds. And I know there was some discussion, and I don't know where it is at this point in time. At what point in time is it going to become one way? Because right now you're just considering a turnaround.
Turnaround is necessary to make it one way. The idea would be sometime during this summer construction season to build a
Okay.
turnaround.
Okay. And I'm no engineer, but my thoughts are if we made the turn onto Old Glenwood Park Avenue, instead of being just a slight Y, pretty much a straight shot, if you had to come down and actually turn, which would kind of make you go through an S as you get there, it would put traffic farther north from Young Road, reducing the chance of cars colliding at that point in time, and it would force people to slow down. I walk my grandchildren on Old Glenwood Park Avenue, and most people are very respectful. Most people go clear in the other lane, slow down, give me the entire road. But every once in a while you get one that, knock your hat off with the breeze when they go by so close and so fast. So there's a percentage of people that, like any place else, are very disrespectful of that. And quite honestly, I don't think changing the speed limit 10 miles an hour is going to probably affect that much. And, I think,
So generally, are you in favor of this?
yes, there's just, I don't know how frequently. Minor accidents, we don't hear and see, but there are accidents there quite frequently. I'm sure you probably got a study on that. And I can't remember his name, the engineer 35, 40 years ago, and he told me at that time they had a plan in place to make a change there. So it's been recognized for a long time. It's just, you know, the alternatives, Home Road is extremely narrow, and the road itself is steep, but when you get to the last, I don't know, 50 feet, it's twice as steep. And even in the spring, I have all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles. I don't go that way in the winter because you can't get out up there without spinning. And even in the spring, when there's the sand and things that were put down, until that stuff is off the road, you can't pull up there without spinning. It's semis get hung up there because it's almost like going over raised railroad tracks. Visibility is bad. So anything that, I'm thinking we'll have a lot of traffic the first summer. When people find out what it's like in the winter, they'll figure out choose another route and hopefully stay on that route. Those are my concerns.
Okay, thank you very much. In the long-range plan there, I see that Old Glenwood Park Avenue comes in to Young Road right there at a different angle. Will Old Glenwood Park Avenue be turned back into both directions at that point?
All of that would be subject to any engineering that PennDOT would do. This is a concept, so it showed what may work, but depending on topography, surveying, utilities, it's hard to say for sure. I think the idea was it would still remain one way only, but if it's leading into the roundabout, maybe it would change. That's kind of to be determined. Like I said, this is just a concept that is the best that they could do without doing actual engineering.
Okay, but is there any possibility of putting between the township and PennDOT, putting the end of that Young Road, up to the roundabout there? No, the other, there, right there to that section right there, that little piece in there.
Yeah.
Which would do exactly what he wants, talking about doing, and cut off the traffic from flying through that intersection.
Well, and yes, you're right, that would do that, but also if a roundabout were in place there, people wouldn't be coming down and just turning like he said. They'd be going all the way around and actually almost turning.
But you're
right
talking several years till you get the roundabout. What I'm saying is, as a temporary measure,
Oh, you mean do something similar? I don't think we can do something similar to this just because of the configuration, but I think his suggestion is good because it is almost like a direct ramp, and maybe we could look at removing some of that pavement to make people make more of a right turn and come around that corner rather than just like almost like an exit.
One-way, yeah.
Entry lane that just shoots straight off.
mhm.
Mr. Chairman.
The obstacle there is that there's a bridge that goes diagonally across that intersection. Otherwise, it goes real easy to park if they start going years ago. Just go left as you're going east on Glenwood Park Avenue, just go left. Sweep and turn, so you come up to 505, the 9409 Bridge. The problem is they use all that bridge, so now you're at the bridge, obviously that's cost.
This is actually, to his point, actually a bridge kind of abutment right here, and the creek spills out. So what he was saying is you couldn't bring this further over this way to separate them because this is Mill Creek or a branch on it. And so everything kind of has to happen within this limits of the bridge.
I take it when they do this, if they do that plan, it's gonna be kind of confusing during construction.
My other thought is that retaining wall along that creek,
Along here?
quite deteriorated. They just repaved
they've done it up here, it kind of cuts around. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that is before the turnaround, so you can
Blend that.
utilize that later.
No, just, rather than westbound being in this week, westbound in this week, right over,
Yeah.
right over. This down, make people actually turn in. They can't, they're not coming on the Young Road anyway, block this block right here. And make the turn further.
Nice big cement pillar right there.
Wherever your property is here, up there.
So there's a big
Right.
grade change
That's the way the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thought.
And make this as difficult as it is as you can.
Right.
Just sail through that.
But he's right, you can just wing, you flip right onto Glenwood Park Avenue.
Did you ever do a study of it, so no left-hand turns off the Young or Old Glen Park Avenue? That would eliminate all that. No left turn.
That's true, and I mean, part of the study, that they did for this concept, this is one of 4.
We were done.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, we could ask the traffic engineers, you have to get PennDOT's permission, that we have to do this anytime you change a movement in their intersections. It could be explored. That would, I think, probably end up driving a lot of traffic then down to Glen Ridge and moving, people that want to go north, or anywhere from Southland Village or Hollis or like that, or
Make a right-hand turn, go to the Old French intersection, and head north.
Yeah, we can definitely ask the question, I don't know for sure.
A lot cheaper.
You could stand right there if you want to, if you talk loudly so everyone can hear you.
I don't know whether you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, well, I have a hard of hearing, so that's why. All right, I'm 5750 Glenwood Park Avenue. I don't know whether y'all know, but they dropped the old. So there's no such thing as an old. The township changed it. Number 1, number 2, I cannot drive out of my driveway and turn right. I can't. I'm gonna have to go down, maybe go up Home Road, and then that's a 30-degree angle up there, and then you've got going up Young is a 40-degree angle. Can you see when the traffic's going? No, I can't.
What do you mean you can't come out of your driveway and turn right?
I can't turn right because we were on position, and it's one way.
Oh, okay, all right, okay,
Yeah,
all
so
right.
I'm gonna have to go left in order to go right. I'm gonna have to go up right. My answer is, and you're probably gonna laugh, 505, reduce the speed limit, because from the zoo, it goes from 35 to 45, and people are going 70. There, and that's the reason for all those accidents. And if you've ever seen them later there at Shirley's, how many guardrails did they put in there in the past 4 years?
Mhm.
That is not Glenwood Park Avenue on the Young Road. That is up the street. And it boils down to 505's traffic is going way too fast. Maybe because of the casino, whatever, but what did they do on Old French? At Evans Road, they put a flashing light. They thought everybody just slow down. Why can't they put a light there, slow people down, and just keep it as it is? So I can get out of my driveway and turn right. And not have to go left in order to get up to Young Road to go over there to get up to Pilot. And that's all I can say.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing.
Yes.
I have none of the internet. I don't have a cell phone, smartphone. So the only way I get any communication is via USPS. I know I'm old-fashioned, but this is it. So if you need to communicate.
Send you a letter.
Letter.
That's what I wouldn't have even known anything was happening. It was a scuttlebutt from Facebook. Everybody was telling me, oh, they're going to make Glenwood Park Avenue one way. Really? In front of my house? Ah! And then I'm looking at that, and I'm like,
You've got 10 years to sell. You have 10 years to sell. That new, I'm just joking,
10
by the way.
years?
Yeah, the cul-de-sac, probably, the roundabout will probably not be, they probably won't get to it for 10 years.
And how is this going to, how is my property value going to change because of this? You know, I mean, this is chaos. And my property is my property, and I really would like to know what the effect will be.
Well, who knows? I don't think anybody
I know
can
who
answer
knows.
that.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, there will be some inconvenience to the people that, right, you know, like are around that area. But the idea is that it makes the main area safer. And I think that, I mean, I personally have been in roundabouts all over the world, and I think they're the greatest thing. Not everybody agrees with me, though.
No, I would like to go out of my driveway and turn around.
I like the bigger ones, bigger diameter ones, not the little
Well,
tiny
this one
ones.
looks like it's going to be pretty good size.
Well, Home Road is, I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for them. Because that's where the traffic's gonna go, oh, and mark my words, there will still be accidents. There still will be.
Oh.
And Glen Ridge, everybody's gonna be going there. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, anyone else? Sir?
My name is Dave Oliver. I live at 359 Anderson Drive currently. Lived at 145 Young Road starting in 1965. Been around that intersection for about 60 years. Had a role to play in developing Old French and 505 years ago in the 70s with Carl Boyes, God bless his soul, who was supervisor here at the township, and of course went on to be a state legislator for us. Great contact for Mill Creek as a representative from the state. And Carl and I worked together to stand on this side. In the old days, right, we're looking Old French here, Prairie Highway here, there was a stop sign here. Okay, it's hard to believe at this day and age there was a stop sign. This is in the 70s. The road came in as wide. It didn't come in perpendicular. Okay, so thanks to Carl and money from PennDOT, and this intersection goes back that long ago of the roundabouts were never even thought of there, especially here in Pennsylvania or in Milton. But the wonderful thing that happened here, we brought this traffic in, we had tremendous accidents, and I mean people killed. I'll never forget it. Of course, where I live was Young Road right over here. No, that's a boulevard right over here. Here, a terrible crash, get onto the hill. There was an old Pontiac, demolished, guy dead. His big dog was going on. There was a dog in the trunk. Just one of many accidents where people died. So where I'm coming from, to give you a little bit of history. I served on this board for 14 years. Long before, I say, thank what you're doing. My 14 years, it was a great experience, but I can tell you, I know how thankful that job can be, and of course the pay is zero, right? Great job.
Still is.
But anyhow.
You mean when they haven't raised the pay rate?
They haven't raised the pay rate or the benefits, right? That's a long time ago. But the beautiful thing is that this is being done, okay? I hate to hear, I'm going to be 82, okay? I hate to think that this is 10 years away. I don't know how many years I'll be allowed to drive yet, but it's outstanding that things are being thought about in this way, okay? I understand what you're doing now, Matt, is a very small piece in preparation. It would be great if this got speeded up.
sooner the whole plan is done, the sooner people are going to appreciate what is going on. And there's no place, I mean, think from 1965, I bought the house here, you couldn't tell somebody where Young Road was. There was no Mill Creek Mall. I mean, this was, basically farmland, okay? And that's why, as they say, you think there was a stop sign there for that traffic. But enough of history, just so people, and there's just a few of us here, but you got to understand, the traffic has increased all this time. It took a long time. I fought hard for it with the supervisors and say 14 years going through it. You folks are doing. But we had state roads here, okay? Young Road was a state road. In 1982, we got Young Road, it was closed for a whole summer, okay? And we took about 8 foot off of that road and onto the hill.
Remember that,
And
yeah.
that gave us greater visibility. We had storm sewer work done. It was a hell of an inconvenience for me. I mean, I couldn't get in my own driveway, for much of the summer. And, I parked out in first place, but I knew something better was going to take place. And this is what I hope everybody who's here now, you can all come up with, there's a little this or that. But the overall global concept is outstanding, okay? You won't worry about the speed limit. Once that roundabouts get in there, and I've seen the other ones here in Kenton County, the daughter in Phoenix, okay, there's a lot of them out in Arizona, a lot of them. And of course, cars fly out there too. But the neat thing is that the township and PennDOT are working on this. The only thing I don't like is if it's not happening tomorrow. Okay? We need it. We need it. So they say, just to give you a little history of what, it took an act of God almost to get this traffic light here and get the road reconstructed. I don't know whether anybody's ever died there since. Okay, we've had accidents, but I don't think there's been a single death there. And as they say, it was thanks to Carl Boyce, thanks to he was the supervisor, and Carl and I personally handled it all the way through. And to this day, as they say, Carl was such a fighter for us. Certainly, it was a heck of a supervisor. So with that, I support everything that you're doing. I know there'll be inconvenience. I don't like the fact that it's 10 years. I don't like it's kind of piecemeal. But if anybody has never worked with PennDOT, try it, because you might as well, you're going to get great. You'll be old and great by the time you get there. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, sir.
Your check's probably in the mail for PennDOT.
I'm still waiting for my pension.
Yeah, he's a good cheerleader for you. On the same lines as he was talking, oh, I'm sorry, Christine Yeast. I live at 5729 Home Road. I used to work for Summit Township, so I'm a little familiar with the way the procedure goes with the metropolitan planning. And do I understand it correctly that today you're just dedicating the property? All the final details of the plan are yet to be?
So we're just dedicating this little 50-foot piece here so that we can build the turnaround just for the one way.
Okay, that's all that this is.
Yeah, that's all this is today, is really just dedicating this.
Right.
All of this is, to your point, hopefully not 10 years away, but we have to get that program through PennDOT,
Yeah.
get it on, at least for their 27 transportation plan, that is included, so.
Yeah, and I know those plans go for a lot of years.
Right.
But if that's all that this meeting is about, when will the final plan be determined?
The final plan for the turnaround, for all of that?
Actually, all of them.
Well, so the turnaround, the hope is to construct that during this summer, the construction season, so that will be converted sometime before the fall, before school starts. As far as that, again, that's a concept plan, so the next step is to get money in PennDOT's budget to do the engineering and design.
Yeah, so
which
that's
would
where
be
I'm
a few years
looking
away.
to like, encourage the supervisors to champion this cause? Or is it you guys that have to champion this cause for the roundabout?
The people get paid champion the cause. All of us.
Okay, because I just remember Marlon Kuhn and how he got Peach Street, Upper Peach Street, and he slammed his hands on many, many tables to get PennDOT to listen to him.
So that's all his fault, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So, and I wondered if that's how it will sort of happen here.
Well, we will try, and I do want to add, obviously PennDOT has their regulations and their planning, but there are also is funding, that comes around every year, and more so now with the new infrastructure bills. So we can start to look for maybe some safety grants or some other infrastructure grants that are outside. If we can go out and find funding and bring it, that will help PennDOT do it all quicker. So
Yeah.
that's something we've been exploring too, trying to apply for money.
Because I'm with him too, I see that it really will help the situation, at least even that a little bit, even though it's some inconvenience. You can go up home roads. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
Ray has it.
I'm sorry.
Question for you, Matt. I wasn't privy to some of the other plans, you said there were 4 plans. I really take to heart the issue of the speed limit on Glenwood Park Avenue. Traffic going north on 505 that turn west on Glenwood Park Avenue are literally flying. And that's a concern. Has there ever been any consideration of temporarily closing Glenwood Park Avenue from 505 to the proposed turnaround until the roundabout is actually constructed? Because once the construction of the roundabout, that will naturally slow the traffic. But a temporary closure of that small section of road would eliminate the issue of people flying. It would eliminate the issue of reconstructing that 505 and make people turn. It would be a temporary inconvenience. Was that ever considered at all?
That was one of the alternatives from the plan, and the engineer or the traffic consultant did study it. One of those was, just to terminate that connection. But based on the traffic counts that they saw, especially it's actually it's busier in the afternoon, believe it or not. They figured that people heading into town in the mornings heading northbound would head that way. There's actually more traffic northbound than going west in the evening. The peak, I don't know if that's school traffic or what, but they felt with the traffic counts that are there, it would make sense to keep it, or it would be better to keep it westbound and shut down the east rather than
A temporary,
I can add something to that, living there almost 60 years. Traffic coming in the morning, coming north, okay, it's pretty hard to make that turn, and unfortunately, when they do make it, they're speeding, because there's so much traffic coming from the city also, coming south. So if you want to make that left turn onto Old Glenwood Park Avenue, you take your life in your hands, and you're going to stop there because oncoming traffic is coming toward you. And of course, what helps them to go faster is that they don't have much room to do it. So they go quickly. But that's why, Matt, there is less traffic in the morning, because they have less opportunity to make the turn. They have to cross in front of traffic that's speeding also. And I agree with all the people, that the speeding is just, but that's unfortunate, because people that don't live there, people that are coming to work, whether they come from Union City even, or Meadville, or whatever. But that gives you a clue as to what happens in the morning. More opportunity to make that turn on Glenwood Park Avenue after that rush hour in the morning. Okay? Rush hour is going the other way in the evening.
Good point. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. Thank you very much for your input.
So as you noticed on your agenda, there are 2 actions regarding this. The first would be for the board to ask them if you would agree that this plan is consistent with the Embrace Mill Creek Comprehensive Plan, and if so, then to approve the widening itself of the road. And then the next would be to vote on whether or not to recommend the actual dedication plan to the Board of Supervisors for their approval. Oh, and I did, if I could make a clarification, just because I know there was a little confusion. This, if the board acts, or if the commission acts on it today, this will be heard by the supervisors on February 27th. That's their evening meeting, 4:30 in this room.
27th. All right.
Well then, can I make a recommendation? I move that we recommend both of these items for approval.
Okay, the recommendation or motion has been made, a recommendation to approve both of these items on the agenda as written for now. And we do have a second on it? Okay, second. Any further discussion at all, gentlemen?
Mr. Chairman, I would just want to say thank you for all the feedback. I think very thoughtful, very civil conversations. I think this is a step forward, but there are always some changes in systems, but I think it's a step forward, and thank you for coming out and sharing your thoughts. And I think it helps certainly Matt and others see, those who are living it every day, of how to best do it. So thank you.
From all of us, thank you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that we all appreciate the fact that
Hey, what's it, they just have to finish the meeting.
and paid attention and considered what we were saying.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. That being the last or the only item on the agenda tonight, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
No, that was it. I was just